morning, everyone. Welcome to the day 14 of our broadcast. First of all, let me check whether we are live on different platforms. Just give me a moment. Otherwise, yesterday we had a bit of challenge in this, so allow me the moment to check if we are live. Hold on. Not sure. I'm not getting anything. Yeah. Okay, I think we are live. So before we jump on, yeah, I got a notification. Now let's go with our Spartan code. I choose to live by choice, not by chance. To be motivated, not manipulated. To be useful, not used. To excel, not compete. To make changes, not excuses. I choose self-esteem, not self-pity. I choose to listen to my inner voice, not to the random opinions of others. I choose to do things that you won't, so I can continue to have things that you can't. So that's the Spartan code of conduct. And with that, let's get going with today's broadcast. So, first of all, happy morning once again. Welcome to the Thursday morning show with the Abhishek Kokate, the Abhishek Broadcast show. Thank you so much for joining me today. So, today we are going to, as last week, we were going past the habits that we need to stop doing. So last week we were had a habit called winning at all cost, right? Where people always want to win at all cost. They want to show they are the winners or they know everything. And what does it cost actually, right? Today, one more habit that we need to drop that I've added here is adding too much of value. Now, what does it mean, adding too much of value? As the word or as the line says, adding too much of value means somebody is telling you something and then you stop them in between and then you add your own value to that. You say, this is better than that. To give an example, somebody came and told you, Abhishek, this particular cup of tea, this particular brand of tea is really good. You just try it. It really feel amazing. Now this is the idea of somebody. Now what I'm saying is that, that tea you're talking about, right? Yeah. I know that tea is good, but better than that tea, another tea is there that is even better than that. Now, what I did is I put my 2 rupees to that, 2 cent to that, and I tried to overvalue this, but I completely took away the idea of somebody else. Just give you an example. So there was this two guys sitting in the book. This is written in the book. Of course, this idea is from what got you here won't get you there. So in the book, the author is saying that a founder and a co-founder is sitting in one particular restaurant, and the author, our Marshall Goldsmith sir, is observing them. He is their executive coach, and in the observation he's saying that the founder is busy, or he is listening to his co-founder. So whatever the co-founder is bringing in, he is listening to that idea, but he is always using the word but. So for example, we can enlarge our company and we can add this dimension to our company. So that fellow, the founder, is saying, yeah, yes, it's a good idea to enlarge our company and add this particular division, but and then he continued. So Marshall Goldsmith observed him for good point of time, and finally Marshall Goldsmith came to the founder and he said, could you stop adding value? Could you stop saying but? Could you just listen to what your assistant is saying and just be there? And you don't need to add any value. So this is what Marshall Goldsmith is saying, that we all are adding value everywhere, especially me myself also. In fact, through the part of my life, I always wanted to inspire people, always want to see them doing better, always want help them to see the good side of life, the optimist side of life. Unfortunately, I also fell into the trap of adding too much of value. When somebody is saying something, I'll immediately cut them off and say, better than this is that. But if somebody is coming up with the idea, this idea is great, but that. And unfortunately, what happened is that I removed those people completely from my life. They felt offended, or they stopped giving me any kind of ideas. Generally tend to happen, especially with the people in the leadership, in the managerial role at workplace. People will come up and tell you lots of advices because they feel that they need to tell you their opinions, their new ideas on how the organization can do well. And your job as a manager, as a senior executive, or whatever the C level executive you are, is to listen to them, not to put your word or not trying to add your value to it. Definitely, with your experience, you may have gone through the same experience earlier, but still allow those people to express themselves without interrupting them, without adding any value. Listen to them deeply. You can ask further questions like, where do you think this idea come from? Why do you think it is relevant to us? So this will even make them feel better that you have listened to their idea and you're introspecting on them and making them meditate on that idea. Now, coming to one final example before we wind this up of adding too much of value. So here again in the book, this is a very beautiful example. So there was this a very famous designer, great designer, I would say, not famous, one of the greatest designer, under whose name the chocolates, handmade chocolates were rolled out. I mean, to give a box of chocolate under the brand name of the designer. Now, the designer was not making a chocolate; it was a Swiss company who were specialized, not company, Swiss bakers who were specialized in making those chocolates. So they made 12 type of chocolates. In that, actually, only one was the finest of the quality. Other 11 were just decoy, not a good quality chocolate, very inferior. That is just as a alternative, and they were assuming that our person, our designer will come and he is going to pick up the best of the chocolate. When he came in, he picked up all the inferior chocolates and said those were all great. To the astonishment of the bakers, they were shocked because they don't wanted to sell inferior quality of those goods to outside. So once he left, the owner of that bakery or the bakery organization was asked by the workers, "What do we do? The designer has selected all inferior quality." He said that we don't need to do anything. We are being in the business of chocolates for 4 generations, 4 to 5 generations. We know what is the best. Let's pick up the best, which we know is the finest quality. Remove the all the decoys, because anyways the designer will have no idea. So what mistake the designer made here is, even before coming to the whole point that this is the best and go for it, since he was not aware about how the chocolates are, because that is not his business, right? He should have asked the people which among these chocolates are the finest of the qualities, which they believe are good, and their feedback would have helped him to actually understand which chocolate is good. Because we can't be champion or we can't be expert in all the aspects of life. We can be experts in few, not all, right? So adding too much of value at workplace, adding too much of value in personal conversation or anybody and anywhere will only make people away from you. You cannot be a leadership material if you keep on adding a value. Now I have a very beautiful one more example, personal example of a very good man. I personally know him as a good man, and I worked with him also in my earlier organization. But unfortunately, he has also the ability to add too much of value whenever it comes to particular place. So if anybody says that they have visited that particular destination, let's say X destination, he can go non-stop for 2 to 3 hours, and he won't stop for 2 to 3 hours continuously. Even if you want to go somewhere, he will just forget anything. And I have seen people avoiding him because of this particular aspect of his life. I'm not sure whether he knew it or not, whether he has improved it or not, but I've seen it personally. People run away from people like this, where people keep on adding too much of value. Because what happens is that when somebody is saying something to you, they are coming with the fact that you're going to acknowledge that idea, you're going to take that idea as theirs, and at least think over it. But what you do, you take that idea and make it yours by adding that 2 cent. The moment you add that 2 cent, 2 rupees, that idea become yours, not theirs. And after that, they are no more left with that idea, right? And I think you would have seen it everywhere, all across life. You go out and tell something to somebody, they already know about it. First of all, the first thing they will say, hey, I already know about all this, okay? I have seen this anywhere, I have seen this somewhere. And then they will add that 2 rupees to that. They will add to some value to that according to them. And finally, you are like, why the hell I came and told this idea? Even in the company also, you go and tell your CEO about certain things. After some time, they stop. I mean, they just don't listen to it. They say, ah, this idea already came up to me, but the word but. So first of all, we need to remove the word but when you receive anybody's information. And the best way to avoid this, as per Marshall Goldsmith, is take a deep breath before replying. So somebody said something and you, like, you know that stuff. For example, I'm from Mumbai and somebody said, hey, Mumbai is great and there is this particular place where they sell very beautiful vada pav or misal pav, which is one of the prime dishes in Mumbai. Being from Mumbai, I will have an urge to reply saying that that vada pav or that misal pav is not that great. I know a place which is better than that. Again, I'm adding a value. So what should I do when somebody is saying that to me? After they tell me, Abhishek, that vada pav is really great, I've been to Mumbai, that's a really amazing place, have you tried it? I will take breathe, relaxed. And because I know that what am I going to say is going to not add any value, is going to destroy the particular perspective what that man is bringing. So I will ask myself, what am I going to say? Is it really required to be added? Even if I tell the person that vada pav where they had vada pav or misal pav is not the greatest, what difference does it make? It makes no difference. So rather than doing that, I'll just take a deep breath and question and just relax. So the moment you take a deep breath, automatically the urge to add value will go away. You'll just listen and go with the flow. And that has worked with many people across the book. We have examples. So going ahead, whenever you feel the urge to add value anywhere in life, in friendly conversation, at work, at anywhere, please remember this: adding too much of value will only dent your leadership quality. The moment you have an urge to add a value when somebody asks something or tells something, you just take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I going to say? Is it really important? Is it really needed? Is that going to change anything, or am I trying to rob a person of their idea? If you have an answer that is you're going to rob somebody's funny idea and it is not really great, I think it's a clear answer. You don't need to speak anything. You just listen. So stop adding too much of value, or stop adding value, whatever it is, in whatever life things are going around. So with this, I like to wind up of today's broadcast. I hope this particular broadcast would have brought a value to you. Please do let me know how it is going. I've also started a newsletter. I'm posting daily this newsletter on, because a lot of people might have missed the broadcast. It's not possible across the geographies, so they might have missed. For that reason, I'm starting a newsletter. If there's something that you want me to cover, please do let me know. In few weeks, few months, we will also have many more people, great professionals, joining us on as a podcast or on the broadcast to add more and more value. So let's keep this going. Let's keep this positive conversation going, because that was the aim of the Abhishek Kokate broadcast. Thank you so much. Loving you so much. Have a fantastic day, and don't add any value. Bye.